Is your favorite Lego set a great base plate? Neither, but that doesn't matter because Lego Star Wars has made another one. Welcome back, Obi-Wan Kenobi versus Darth Vader. You might be getting a little bit of deja vu, but this is in fact a different set. It is set 75385, Ahsoka Tano's Battle on Peridea. This set retails for $55 US, 90 Australian dollars, and 50 Great British pounds, and has 382 pieces. And you might not be able to admit it to yourself yet, but the only reason you probably want this is because of the minifigures. First up, we have Ahsoka Tano the White, and this minifigure looks incredible, much like the other Ahsoka TV show version. She has the same exact face print, but has an updated Leku this time around, and pretty much her torso, arms, and legs are all just a white version of the previous grey torso. Next up is Ezra Bridger, and personally, I am not a fan of how they've given him the blue eyes. I mean, they did the same for Hera, and they've done it for Ahsoka, but since he's human, I just don't think it works. I really feel like these colored eyes should just be exclusively for aliens or for the Sith, because this just looks a little too uncanny for me. I get that his eyes are violently blue in the show, but this is just a little too much. Otherwise, I think this minifigure is spot on, and I'm really glad that they updated his skin tone finally, and I hope one day we get some sort of updated Rebels Ezra, although I am not holding my breath. Morgan Elsbeth also got an update in this set with her witch-strucken face, technically making her exclusive, or at least a new. She also comes with legs this time around rather than a dress piece, which I think for this set in particular does work, although I would have much preferred the dress. She comes along with the translucent green version of the Darksaber blade in order to represent the sword, and I think it looks really good. Then we have probably one of the most sought after minifigures in this set, and that is an updated Grand Admiral Thrawn. This is the first time he's popped up outside of the original Rebels Phantom 2, and overall, I do like this minifigure, but I think I prefer the Rebels one overall. I'm really glad that they gave him dual molded legs, since Lego Star Wars often seem to skip over adding dual molded legs to their minifigures, and I think it looks incredibly good. His badge is correct this time around, which is a big upgrade, and I really love his face print. I think the only thing that throws me off is him having the black hairpiece. But all that aside, I think he still looks fantastic. And lastly is a Night Trooper, and this minifigure looks incredible, although I really would have loved to have seen Captain Enoch in this set instead. That being said, I love the cracked helmet, and this is definitely an army builder worthy minifigure. And whilst these minifigures are fantastic, that is really why you are buying the set, because the build itself isn't that great. These minifigures are absolutely fantastic, and at the time of release, all of them are exclusive to this set, but outside of that, there is really not a lot to be excited about with this build. Starting off, I'll talk about the positives, only because, to me at least, there aren't as many as there are negatives. The things I like about this set, one, are the minifigures, and that is very likely where you were going to buy this set, because even at $55 US, that's approximately $11 US per minifigure, which is a little bit pricey, but not unheard of, and you know, is somewhat good value, I guess. But when you remove them, this set is so bare. So let me move them to the side. Another positive is that it does make some sort of nice stand for your Ahsoka minifigures. You could put all of the ones on the TV show on here, and they should all fit, and that would look pretty nice. However, that's about it for this set. And this to me is much worse than the Obi-Wan versus Darth Vader set from the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, which I notoriously hated. And this sucks because it feels like I'm being really mean to Star Wars this year, which is really not the case. I think a lot of the sets are pretty cool, but this by far to me is probably the worst set of the year. It is Grey Baseplate Core 2.0. This set is so bland and really does not have a lot to it. Every detail on this set is a sticker, which I don't necessarily mind. However, the grey on the floor does not match the grey coloring of the pieces at all and sticks out like a sore thumb, and I really don't think it was worth it just to get a couple of yellow lines there. The 4 pillars are pretty cool. I like the build of them. I like the sticker detailing. I think it adds a lot, and it really makes this set feel complete, because if you took them off, then literally you would just be left with a grey slab. So I really feel like these stands are doing the absolute most here. I think the only other thing I like about this set though is that they've gone for some sort of semicircle so that you can have a nice little backdrop or a display piece, because I think this would ultimately look pretty good on a shelf, but as a Lego set, it's really not offering a lot more than that. There are these 2 little wheels on the side that you can spin around in order to make your minifigures battle, and there's a third one that rotates in the middle, but you kind of have to reach forward and spin it like this. I don't think there's a lot of playability, since you can't really spin these 2 at the same time and have figures battle because the turntables are too far apart. There's also a little launcher thing at the back, however, it just like constantly tilts backwards and doesn't really stay in its intended position to be a play feature. So that kind of sucks. And that's it. There's not really much else to talk through with this set. I guess there's these like nice gold things on the back of the pillars. The base is sturdy, I guess. I mean, it feels, you know, pretty solid overall, but I really think this makes the Obi-Wan versus Darth Vader set look 10 times better than that was, because I feel like there was at least more play features, like the lava spread out. There was also a lot more levels. Now, I get that you can't really do that given the context of this scene, but it's just so bland. I feel like we could have had like a temple playset instead and had all of the minifigures in that, and it would have been far more interesting than this set. But I feel like it's not enough telling you how simple and bland this build is. I needed to show you. So I took about like 15 minutes and built my own version of this set out of some of the pieces in my collection, which given that I recently moved countries, I don't have a lot of, and I still feel like I was able to make a pretty much like, I'd say 70% replica of this set. You can't tell me that this mock doesn't convey the exact same idea that this set does. Now, this set definitely looks a little bit more clean and refined compared to my one, but it also should be like that. I shouldn't have a better model than this, given that this has probably a third of the pieces. If you just wanted some sort of like Peridea display piece, it's really not that hard to make. All of this is to say, if you want a really cool Lego set and like a really fun display piece or a really fun play set, don't buy this. If you're a really big fan of the Ahsoka TV show though, and you want to complete out your collection, yeah, it's probably worth getting, especially if it's on sale or there's some sort of promotion, such as May the 4th or Black Friday. But if you're planning on buying this on August 1st, I wouldn't do it. These minifigures are really sick, and I know a lot of people have been waiting for Thrawn for a really long time, but you've already done a ton of waiting, so just wait a little bit more and actually get some good value for your money. The only way that I could see this being worth the money is if all of the minifigures stayed exclusive to this set, because at least then there's some type of draw. But I assume one of them at least is going to come inside an advent calendar, and they're probably going to do another type of Ahsoka show set in the future, so more of them are probably going to come up. Like, imagine if they did a Night Trooper battle pack, then he becomes worthless. But then you could also build out your army, so I don't really see that as a minus necessarily, but look, I'm sad. You get one more minifigure than the Obi-Wan versus Darth Vader, but I don't think that makes this a good set. I think a lot of people are kind of just delusioned by the fact that there are so many cool characters that people have wanted. The biggest problem with this set is just the fact that they decided to make this specific location. The Temple or Thrawn Star Destroyer would have been a much more interesting set overall, and I think if they did that type of model and threw all of the minifigures in at the same price point, you would have had a much better experience than what we actually ended up with. I don't know if that was Lucasfilm or Lego's decision, but ultimately that is what hurts this set. There are so many other Lego sets available right now that are $55 or less that are way better value and worth your money than this one is, because at this price point it is going to get you a considerable amount away to at least a poly bag, and even having that I think is going to help the sticker shock of this set. But let me know what you think about it down in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up, consider subscribing to my channel down below, and until next time, I'll see you later. I promise I'm not always this upset about Star Wars.